And you can bet they'll give it a go today. Look at this, the best riders in the world in the Absa Cape Epic. You know, we did have the world champion, Schurter, in this field not long ago. He's not here, and yet the racing is still so animated and still so competitive. Fantastic to watch them fly off that start line. The starts leave some of those riders at the back. The riders leaving the start today, and I mean, just already look at the line there. In the past, you know, we may have seen the site was of their backup team, so it wasn't those two Robach or Gesmar. It was in fact Jadok Salzman who had stepped in to replace us.
Thank you, and looking forward to today's action.
Isn't it going to be? Just quickly on that, Howie Grotz was riding last year with Montoya, and then Montoya pulled out. Howie started that day with Montoya. He pulled out Montoya on that day, and Howie was able to help you guys, I believe.
Yes, but we had to double and triple check the rules, yes. And talking with the commissaires, what we are doing is right, and there's no time penalty involved. So Paolo, he just couldn't keep up. Thinking that scenario in your head, how to very quickly get your ball, and then water point 3, just quick top it up with a few cups to drink in your mouth, or top up the water bottle, but everything's super quick.
Now, what we're seeing here is just how comfortable Howie Grotz looks on these climbs.
Yeah, he loves these climbs, especially where you can go out of the saddle. Howie, if you've seen him in other races, wherever you can ride out of the saddle, he basically rides out of the saddle. So he loves this climb, where more the sandy, rockier climbs where you have to sit for ages in that saddle, yeah, his legs getting not so comfortable.
Look at the gap starting to open there on the climb. So Cannondale, Canyon and Investec will follow, that's for sure. Buff Scott in there, and the Trek Samarca boys are there as well, trying to chase back to that group up front.
Bulls won, they were very far off on the climb. And also Waude, our prediction is not right. They will come back the last 2 days, maybe even right in top 3. It looks like Rohrbach is struggling quite a bit.
Two Trek Samarca teams in there of NAD Pro, as the wonderful skills of these world-class riders. Grotz them right now, thanks to Live View and the wonderful skills of a man who's won this event 3 times. Fantastic images coming to you from earlier today as they hit this long section of single track that Christoph Sauser was talking about.
And I would love to see even more engineers coming here, because that's probably the biggest learning curve for them.
Absolutely, and they're the guys who do all the science behind it. Now we are live, and this is Cannondale Factory Racing. We believe on the front of the race. Yet to be concerned. Are they in second place? Okay, this is second, so they are still chasing Investec Songo Specialized, but they're in their own race in many ways now. They are trying to put distance between themselves and Canyon. They may well be aware that Canyon perhaps aren't on the best day. Alban Lecata looked as though he was tailing off a bit on Christian Heineck, so they're seizing their opportunity here to put time into them.
I doubt they'll think much about the overall anymore, yeah. to win the overall. You have it a little bit in your head, maybe there's a big mechanical or a crash, but somehow you also don't want to win like that on the last day. You might be interested in the Cannondale lefty fork. I rode that fork the first time ever, Olympics 2000 in Sydney. It was just such an advanced fork back then. Especially when it came to durability, because it was a sealed system with needle bearings. So even in really bad weather over days, the characteristic of the fork does not change. The disadvantage is actually it's a quite high center of gravity, so in the sand, but otherwise he doesn't have a major weakness as long as he can take the draft of Yarrow in the flat.
So the word is that the gap is 120 there. Fumic and Avancini, showing the bottle there. And the word is that they're 120 back, and the group behind them is a further 40 seconds, 2 minutes on the leaders. So there they go into yet more of this wonderful single track. It's wonderful single track, but it's hard work. These guys are absolutely putting everything out there.
Coming back to their fork, another disadvantage, and you think, tomorrow it will be the same again, legs gonna turn automatically. You may be in the hype the whole afternoon and you're not so tired, and then actually it hits you the next day. You're a bit too confident, maybe the body is not so in reco mode, you could squeeze yourself out that day so much, and you pay for the next day. Where when you finish a stage and you have to dig so deep, you're lying in your camper, you have
recovery
no idea.
Becomes absolutely vital.
Yes, and you're lying actually in the camper so at low heart rate versus the beginning. But yeah, his limiter are the legs.
Well, they'll be hoping that maybe they come back, but just the force that the Kulhavy puts into these switchbacks. Now he's up the saddle, just drives up through the switchback, and on they go. They may be able to catch a glimpse if they were to look of the chasers. There he goes, just a look over his right shoulder. He makes it look so easy in some respects, Yara, but he's also a very physical rider. He's very...
Surface is just way different than on the other side of the mountain range.
It's much more forgiving, this. Yeah, it's a smoother terrain than on the far side. The Slunghoek traverse was incredibly demanding. Look at these canyons created over the years by water. A little bit of air there from Manuel Fumic. Gouged out of the mountainside. This clay-like surface. Trek Sellers and Marco, quick climb.
I don't think Manuel Fumic just put his nose in the front, just been following, and Enrico Avancini really is the Kulhavy of that team today.
Following the race, they're on familiar territory now. Jaroslav Kulhavy, thanks to Neil Gardner, following the race from the air there. What a place to watch the race from. Now here we go, Trek Sellers and Marco and Cannondale Factory Racing all together, and this is going to be the race for second. As I said, both have plenty to gain here. Cannondale Factory Racing, Fumic and Avancini, they want to reclaim second place overall, and Trek Sellers and Marco could vault up into sixth place on general classification if they manage to get time on Steepjan and Burma at Bulls 2. Well, they're not that far behind here, actually.
No, they're not. I wonder how far Canyon is behind this four. I doubt so. He
doesn't say much on the bike. Clearly he does. Jaroslav Kulhavy on the bike, and clearly doesn't look. He just puts his head down. Now here we go. A little bit of a move from Fumic. And Trek saying, well, we're going to be in this say as well. We want to have a little say in how it's going to turn out in second place.
Yeah, they decided to communicate. Hey, let's start pulling through everybody, and that's what makes them faster. And yeah, they congratulate each other, and little celebration talk.
And they certainly deserve it. Investec Songo Specialized, winners of the time trial yesterday, their first stage win of the Absa Cape Epic. Here they come. On the right is Jaroslav Kulhavy and Howard Grotz, winners of stage 6 of the Absa Cape Epic. Another dominant performance. They put the power down when it mattered most.
Thank you very much. May, as a spectator, you think they feel for tomorrow, but I promise you they're gonna have the most nervous wake up tomorrow morning, and in the race it will calm down, obviously.
It's that's when it as the race gets closer to the finish, the tension perhaps gets even greater than any other stage, because you don't want to lose it. Here we go. This is the race for second place on the stage and second place on GC, because Cannondale Factory Racing in here, 4-second lead over Canyon Topeak, who are behind them. With them in this little dice are Trek Sellers and Marco, who've done a lot of the work coming into the finish here. Is it going to be handed to them? It's Trek Sellers and Marco who are going to drive for the line and take second place. Rabenstein and Casagrande second. Fumic and Avancini third. That's your top three.
It was a pretty good day for us. We knew that profile is going to suit us. and we put pressure straight away from beginning on, early doors, and in the end it worked out. We're leading quite a lot, more or less the whole stage, and like I said, try to press on all the time and put the other guys into the hurt box.